Hello and welcome to Hands. In this episode of Hands, we're not playing. We're not at the pad, we're not at the kit, no sticks in our hands. We're gonna talk about something else. Today, I'm gonna address and break down for you stretching and properly conditioning yourself for the drum set. When I was 16, as a lot of you guys know from my vlogs and my Q&As, I decided at that point I wanted to be a drummer, and I really dove in head first. I took on way too many projects all at once, and it meant that I was rehearsing a lot on my own, as well as attending band rehearsals, and I was playing lots of shows and just way too much. And what's worse is, I didn't know how to stretch, and I didn't really even warm up. I would go to a recording session or a show, and I didn't really have like a warm up before I got into the actual playing. I just sort of sat down and went from 0 to 100, which is definitely not ideal for maintaining anatomically healthy joints and limbs and muscles and ligaments and all the things that go along with that. And after 6 months of this bodily use and abuse, I got to the point where I was too jacked up to play anymore, and I had to take some time off the kit. I went and I did some massage therapy, some physiotherapy, and I started yoga at home. I started yoga at home not because I thought I was gonna fix my problems, but because with my problems, with the pains that I was feeling, I couldn't really lift. And when I'm not lifting, I needed something else that was gonna be, replace that physicality that I got from my workout routines. So I went to yoga because I could get through a yoga session, feel very gassed by the end of it, like I was making progress in my own personal fitness, and it wasn't hurting my wrists. I didn't know at the time, but inadvertently I was actually fixing my wrist with the yoga stretches coupled with the physical therapy and the massage therapy. And that today is what inspired this video. I want to talk about what you can do so that you don't ever end up like me and taking a break from the drum set because your wrists and your joints can't handle it. I don't want any of you to experience the pain that I went through, and if you are experiencing pain right now due to overuse on the drum set, we're gonna address your problems and hopefully fix them. So first things first, on the path to fixing any of your aches and pains, let's look at what a stroke looks like. This my wrist, this my stick. As I come down on whatever it is, let's say there's a snare drum here or something. As I come down on that snare, we're not moving the wrist inside of a full range of motion. This to here would be a full range of motion. Instead, we just have this little limited range of motion. Repeating that limited range of motion over and over as you execute thousands of strokes inside of, an hour practice session or whatever it is as you're moving around the kit. With each stroke, the muscles in your wrists are contracting and becoming shorter and shorter because we're not making use of that full range. And shorter muscles means for aches and pains because now when we move our wrist, we're tugging and pulling and yanking on the muscles in your wrist in order to execute simple movements like this. To counteract the shortening of the muscles in your wrists, we're gonna do some stretches to elongate those muscles so that the vital tendons and ligaments and bones that are in this joint don't become damaged because of those tight muscles. So now I wanna talk about the stretches that I use daily to make sure that my wrist and the muscles in my wrist stay elongated, loose, flexible, and I don't ever get into any issues. To do this, I am gonna bring Lindsay in. My thought process here is you guys at home executing this, probably gonna be executing it for this first time, and I'll have her execute these for the first time because she's never done any of these stretches either. And I can watch her and make some corrections, and hopefully those corrections can apply to you too. So Lindsay, come on in. So one last real quick thing before I start talking about these stretches. You can do these stretches at any time of day. In fact, me personally, I don't perform these stretches before I'm about to play. I mean, if it's a performance like a show, yeah, I'll probably have some stretches that I'll roll through directly before going on stage. But as far as practicing goes, or if I'm in the studio or anything, I don't really stretch before getting at the kit. I'm just always stretching. I stretch out of bed, I'll stretch while I'm making breakfast. These aren't stretches that are very intrusive to your everyday life. You can do them wherever. When I had a day job, while I was at my day job, I would just do them standing around, no big deal. So let's start off with the first one. Stretch number one is just a wrist extension. So all we're gonna do here is you're gonna put your arm out straight, and then you're gonna take your opposite hand. So in this case, we'll start with our right hand. I'm gonna take my left hand and I'm gonna wrap up the thumb and all of the digits across my fingers. And then I'm gonna pull back and push forward and keeping my arm straight like that. So from a side view, it would just look kind of like this. You got it right, except for the one mistake she's making is that when you do this stretch, you wanna keep your fingers pointing down towards the ground as well. And the reason for that is because as you pull especially in your middle and your ring finger, as you pull these down, you're really gonna feel a stretch in through here because there's tendons that go all the way out there's tendons that go all the way out through the wrist down to your fingers. So you wanna make sure that the fingers are wrapped up and they're pointed directly down like that. So that's the first stretch, that's just a wrist extension. So I'm gonna get Lindsay to hold this for about 30 seconds before moving into the opposite hand. Now she's gonna switch to the left hand and apply the same concept. So put the hand facing down, and wrap up all the digits, including your thumb, and push forward like that. And make sure that the fingers are facing down towards the ground and you're pulling them back towards your body. You're gonna feel a real good stretch in through the top of your wrist here. Again, I'll have her hold that for about 30 seconds. I won't show it on camera, but I'm gonna get her to go back through now and do the right hand again for another 30 and the left hand again for another 30. So moving right along from wrist extensions, the next stretch we're gonna come to is wrist flexions. A wrist flexion just looks like this. You're gonna put your arm out straight, and instead of going like that with your palm facing up, we're just gonna put the palms facing down. You're gonna wrap up your digits again, and we're just gonna basically do the reverse on what the last stretch looked like. It just looks like that. And now we're just stretching out the top of your forearm. And Lindsay's got it right. So I'm gonna skip on through this, but I'm gonna have her do the same sort of the holds. We're gonna do about 30 seconds the right arm, and then I'm gonna have her switch. So go ahead and switch, Lindsay. Now she's doing the left arm, same thing. So arm out straight, grab all the digits, pull down, and then give that a stretch for about 30 seconds, and switch back through the other side and then back over, 30 seconds each. Looks good. Perfect. Okay, cool. So then the next stretch we come to is the palm press or praying position. It's like, you know, the clapping or the hands emoji. We're gonna put our palms in the direct center of our chest like this, and then you're just gonna push down like that. So you can see that this is kind of stretching your wrist in the same way that you were with this guy here, but we're just doing that in the center now, and we're stretching both wrists at the same time. So this one she's gonna hold for about 30 seconds, maybe 2 to 4 times. She can kind of hold it, then take a quick break of about 10 seconds, and put it back there and hold it again. Okay, so the next stretch we come to is thumb tugs. So the idea with a thumb tug is you're gonna put your arm straight out, and then you're going to put the thumb in the center of your palm like that. Here, I'll come in close so you can see that. So put your thumb in the center of your palm like that, and now wrap around the thumb. And now with your wrist straight, you're now gonna pull your thumb. See how I went from here to there? As I pulled the thumb down, I can feel through the top part of my forearm right here, I can feel a ton of tension. We're really stretching out the muscles here on the side of your arm. Now for this guy too, I always do these in unison with both hands. So put the arms out and then slowly pull. Now be careful, do this really slowly in control. This one, because you're actually taking like one of your other digits, you're taking your thumb and you're pulling it down, you can jack yourself up pretty quick if you go too far too fast. So do this guy really slow and really listen to what kind of tension you feel through the top of your forearm there. Now, this one, same as the last couple stretches, I'm gonna have Lindsay hold for about 30 seconds and then take a break and maybe repeat this, 2 to 4 times, maybe like 3 or so times. It's important to note that all of these stretches, you can do at any time throughout the day. I do them all over the place. Literally, like I will literally be doing this while I'm waiting on something in the microwave, right? Like these aren't stretches that require you put on some fitness gear and hit the gym. Nothing crazy about this. So just do it as much as required to make sure that there's no tension in there. And as you feel tension build up throughout the day, or if you think to yourself, well, I haven't stretched my wrist at all and I'm gonna be practicing later today, make sure to take some time to do a few of those. The first 3 we just ran through too, this guy, that guy, and the thumb tugs, those are the most important that I would say for optimal wrist health at the drum set. Now, wrists aren't the only area that we're gonna stretch here in this video. It's not the only part of you that's important to stretch for good health at the drum set. Now I wanna move on to some stretches that are gonna loosen up your neck. A strong and flexible neck can prevent upper back and shoulder problems. And this is super important at the drum set, especially when we're talking about metalcore for 2 reasons. One is if you're performing a lot, you're gonna wanna headbang. And the second is, especially in your upper shoulders, when you're coming down on like a crash cymbal, that's a full arm movement. And there's a lot of work coming from your back and your shoulders, and you need to keep that area strong and flexible. And that's gonna come from a flexible neck. So the first thing I want you to do when executing this is you're gonna perform a neck retraction. And that's essentially just give yourself a bit of a double chin. Pull your neck back. And then from that position, once you've got your double chin out, you're just gonna look down and you're gonna feel the stretch in through the back of your neck. Now for this stretch, we're gonna mix it up a little bit with the repetitions. You're gonna need to repeat this about 10 times. As you're repeating it, do it for a couple seconds each. This isn't a 30-second hold like the last guys were for our wrist. We're gonna come down for a couple seconds, maybe 1,000, 2, 1,000. I'm probably super loud on the mic right now, I'm sorry. And then you're gonna come back up and go straight and then come back down and repeat over. Do that about 10 times. So after neck flexions, we're gonna get into another stretch called head drop. It's literally just the reverse of what we just did, kind of similar to the wrist. We did that way and then we went from the other side. Now we're just gonna do that with the neck. So we did this, we went like that, we went forward. Now we're just gonna drop our head backwards. That's why it's called head drop. The repetition and time holds are gonna be about the same. You're gonna go like this, make your double chin, and then go back with your neck and look up to the sky and do that for 5-6 seconds, then bring your head back up to this position, to your regular looking position, and then throw your neck back again, and then back. And you just do that over and over, just as you did with moving your neck forward. You do that backwards about 10 times. Moving right along, next stretch we come to is head rotations. This guy is super simple. All you're gonna do is standing square, you're just going to move to the right. Just gonna move to the right and place your nose over top of your right shoulder. Hold it for a few seconds, move back to center, and then move to your left. Placing your nose over top of your left shoulder for a few seconds, and then move back to straight. Yeah, Lindsay's got it. Okay, cool. So, and then what you wanna do here, repeat this 10 times, so 5 each time. Take a break and then do that maybe 2 or 3 times, sets of 10. So the last stretch I'm gonna take you through is just side bends. Side bends are super simple. I mean, all these are really simple stretches. All we're gonna do is upright. We're gonna go back into our double chin, and then we're going to drop our head to the right, and then come back up after a few seconds, and then drop our head to the left. And then come back up a few seconds. And just as we did with the last guy, you're gonna wanna do that 10 times, 5 each shoulder, take a break, and then do it another 10 times, and then another 10 times after that, so roughly around 3 sets. Cool, so as far as like what you need to do and what you need to make sure that you're doing daily, if you are having issues at the drum kit, if you're tense, if you wanna improve your posture and open yourself up for better form at the kit, and make sure that you don't have any injuries or pains going forward, you need to do all the stretches I just listed at least once a day, if not throughout the day. I don't set, like I've already mentioned this and I'm reiterating on myself like I do always, but I don't set aside a time or like a routine to do this. I just am always doing it. Like if you ask Lindsay, like we'll be in the car, you know, I'll be at a drive-through, or you know, we'll be going to the movies or whatever it is, and I'm always just, yeah, exactly. Like she knows what's up. I'm always doing this. You always catch me. That one especially, like I love this stretch. It has really helped me over the years. So yeah, just do it throughout the day, no big deal. Now, one thing I'll say adding on to this, if you were doing these stretches and you found that it was difficult to execute these stretches, then you need to take this a step further. Maybe go to the description, check out the Yoga for the Warrior Bob Harper link. That's the one that I do. I used to do it 5 days a week. Now I do it occasionally. Probably, I do it usually on the weekends, like every Sunday I'll maybe do an hour of that guy. So go and try that out, see if you can make it through that session. The yoga will really help you open up all the areas that maybe are really tight and tense for you right now. Okay, so that's been it for this video. Thank you for checking out Hands episode 3. I hope you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, let me know, give the video a like. Let me know in the comments too, if you knew about these stretches, if you didn't know about these stretches, if you experience pain, if you find that these stretches are helping you, whatever is good, let me know in the comments below. We can get a discussion going. Directly following this video's upload, I will be with Lindsay in the Q&A channel in our Discord server, answering your guys' questions about all the topics we covered in this video, and we can dive in a little bit further with any questions you may have. So if you are one of my patrons and you are in the community Discord, I will see you guys in there after this video. If you'd like to support the channel further, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. There's a merch link down there as well. I hope you enjoyed this video again, and I will see you guys all very soon with something new.